Commission, Justice Seymour Panton, steps down on February 25, and he said he is not going to be continuing, and if asked, he would decline. It's a convenient time to look at the work of the Commission, also to look at any changes that may or may not be needed. The Integrity Commission Oversight Committee of Parliament also meeting as well, looking at the Act, looking at any changes that might be needed. So joining me in studio to talk through these issues, we have the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Ford, also with us from Jamaicans for Justice. You know, your name just absolutely slipped me for just a moment.
It happens.
My apologies. And also with us as well from National Integrity Action, Daniel Archer. Before we go to our guests in studio, though, we have this overview from Kemon White.
Justice Seymour Panton's term as chairman of the Integrity Commission ends on February 25. Justice Panton told the Gleaner that he won't be asking for another term, and if asked to continue, he would decline. Commissioner Eric Crawford's term is also coming to an end. Also ending are the terms of Director of Corruption Prosecution Keisha Prince-Kamika, Director of Investigation Kevin Stevenson, and Director of Information and Complaints Craig Beresford. This comes at a time when the Integrity Commission has been facing mounting pressure from members of the governing Jamaica Labour Party over its handling of Prime Minister Andrew Holness's statutory declarations.
I am appalled. Integrity Commission can present a report which is quite clear is, in their own indication, is incomplete and therefore is asking for further investigation by the FID, TAG, and now asking Parliament to support that recommendation, which is the substance of this motion.
After examination of the report, thorough examination, it is laden with statements that are clearly prejudicial, more than they are probative.
The matter is now before the courts. Justice Panton fiercely defended the work of the IC and dismissed claims of bias when he appeared before the IC Oversight Committee last October.
70% of the persons on the voters list do not vote. And it is startling that it could be suggested that the 5 commissioners happen to be partisan. So we reject that. The commission takes orders from no one other than the court, and it needs to be understood. I don't know if something is wrong with the water in Parliament, why some people, the moment they get into Parliament, they say certain things and behave a certain way. I decided that I wasn't going to take the chance of drinking any water here.
The anti-corruption body was established in 2017 by the Integrity Commission Act to combat corruption and promote ethical conduct in governance. The Integrity Commission Act consolidates laws relating to the prevention of corruption. It also requires parliamentarians and certain public officials to file a statutory declaration with the Commission, disclosing their assets, liabilities, and income. Opposition leader Mark Golding has called on Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen to ensure that the new commissioners are not politically affiliated.
And I say to our Governor-General, Excellency, do the right thing. We know some vacancies are coming up. Make sure that no political hacks, no strongly politically affiliated people are appointed commissioners of the Integrity Commission, because that institution needs to be protected.
The Governor-General appoints the members of the Integrity Commission, with the exception of the Auditor General, who is a commissioner by law. The Governor-General consults with the Prime Minister and opposition leader before making appointments. According to the Integrity Commission Act, members of the body, including the Executive Director, serve a term of 5 years and are eligible for reappointment. Reporting for all angles, I'm Kemon White.
All right, thank you so much for that, Kemon. Okay, I don't have a whole heap of time to break, so let me ask each of you very, very quickly. Minister, how do you rate Justice Panton's stint as chairman? How's he done?
Well, I think I should thank all the commissioners who have served and everyone who is serving and whose term of office has come to an end. Justice Panton has been in the news a lot on a number of things regarding the Integrity Commission. The jury is still out for me, but I just say that I thank all of them who have served.
Okay. Michael Jackson?
I don't like the idea of giving a number rating, but what I can say, I believe that Justice Panton has served our country well. I believe that the few missteps are nothing that we should hold against Justice Panton and the Commissioner, because they're operating in a context that is very adversarial. So having said that, we must also be cognizant that it's a very young organization. And that is the reason really for me saying no number will be placed for a rating, but I believe that they have served their country well.
And for you, Daniel?
I think we need to look at the caliber and the quality of the work that was done, the kind of demands that were made on each member of the Commissioner, the expectation that we had of Justice Panton, and to recognize that in the environment, the constricting space, the anti-corruption work that is being asked for them to do, that they would have done that which they were called upon to do. And as a member of the former member of the judiciary, as a leading member of the anti-corruption entity, I think he was fearless. I see no evidence and have not been provided with any evidence to say that any member was partisan, appreciating that these commissioners came in 2017 under the remit of the government. And so I think the position still is that they have carried out the work that they were expected to do, and they would have done that which was required. So it's not a question of whether they pass or they fail. I think this test is, did they do what they were asked to do? And I do believe the answer is yes.
Yeah. Was it a problem that they were in the news so much, you think? Was that an issue? I mean...
Being in the news, was it as a result of their action? In some instances. But again, I like to look at context that the news cycle came about. Witch hunt, rogue organization, lack integrity. These are comments made by ministers and parliamentarians. And I think those comments were unfortunate, which also led in part to the commission being in the news as much as they were.
I always like to try and read ministers' face.
Why? Why? Start at the start. When the Integrity Commission Act took effect, one of the first meetings that I took part in was dealing with the budget for the Integrity Commission. And I happened to be at the Parliament with the other persons who were specified. And I recall listening attentively to the ask to ensure that the organization was fit for purpose. And I think when you want to see a government's priority, you see what it is prepared to allocate. And what was asked for was allocated to ensure that the Commission could do the work that has been assigned to it. Having said that, I find it unfortunate that among the many issues reported in the news, some comments have cast aspersion on the Commission. I think the work is too important. We need integrity in public life. The fight against corruption is a real fight. And so everything has to be done to minimize the kind of issues that played out in the way that they played out. And for me, as I look back, I've been thinking about how to ensure that it doesn't happen going forward.
Right.
It's funny, Dion, that you ask, have they been in the news too much? Because I think one of the things we have been saying is that they shy away from the media. Yes? So we look forward to seeing a press release on something that has happened, but they're generally not in the media. And if I was to say one of the disappointing aspects for me for the Integrity Commission is there is a role that they have to play for public awareness and education. And I've seen none of that in the whole conversation. There is a role that they are expected to play in sensitizing the public as to what is the Integrity Commission, what do they do. There has been nothing coming from the Integrity Commission in respect of public awareness so that the people, and one of the things we must accept, if we don't know the people or know what they're going to do, there is room for people to infer about what they haven't done or why they should be doing it.
Hold that thought for me, and those ideas about going forward I want to hear as well. We're going to go to the break. When we come back in the next segment, we'll hear from an opposition member of the Oversight Committee, Julian Robinson. Then we come back to our guest in studio.